Good morning, Ashburnham. I'm George Peters here with Fox News Center 5, and I will be filling you in on the Chicago 7 in 1968. The Chicago 7 was a trial in 1968 that concerned many political activists of the time. There were rallies that began to occur before as well as during this time, just 5 miles outside of the convention. The city did what they could to restrain these protesters and rallies, even going to the extent of giving the city an 11 p.m. curfew. 2 days after the convention had started, there was a protest that included 15,000 people. These people were looking for action. The group of protesters was trying to get to ground zero of the convention, which was in the Chicago Amphitheater. The group of protesters was trying to get to the amphitheater because this was where people that were involved with the national politics were meeting at the time. It was then that the protesters faced the police restraint. Things became very violent and out of hand. It took the police 5 days to calm down the people and stop the chaos from occurring again. A major problem that America faced during this act was that a lot of the news was more focused on the riots than the convention itself. In the complete aftermath of everything that took place, many people were injured. You are probably wondering how this connects to the Chicago 8. Well, the Chicago 8 were demonstrators that were involved with this protest, and they became indicted by the federal grand jury. After being indicted, the Chicago 8 were faced with charges based off the 4 different legal violations. The 4 violations were conspiracy by protesters, violation by police, violations of federal communications, violations of federal wiretaps. The trial consisted of the grand jury hearing from hundreds of witnesses and meeting up to 30 times. The 8 protesters' names were Abbie Hoffman, Jerry Rubin, David Dellinger, Tom Hayden, Rennie Davis, John Fraunces, Lee Weiner, and Bobby Seeley. The Chicago 8 became the Chicago 7 because Bobby Seeley made a scene in the courthouse and got him sentenced to prison for 4 years due to contempt of court. As for the remaining 7, on the 18th of February 1970, 2 people were let off, while the others were sentenced to 5 years in prison. It wasn't until 1972 that the United States Court of Appeals then retried the trial and overturned the verdict, freeing the 5 prisoners. The legacy of the Chicago 7 will always be remembered in history. Thank you for your time. Back to you, Larry Abbott, in the main building.